ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Good morning, this is Arlene and you are listening to Drian ASEAN. Today on our ASEAN Daily, we start with the election in Myanmar. Obama calls for Myanmar president endorses election as Suu Kyi eyes majority. According to the news by Reuters, the US President Obama called Myanmar President Thein Sein on Thursday to congratulate him on successful staging a historic general election in which democracy champion Aung San Suu Kyi trunched the ruling camp. He also called Suu Kyi and her opposition National League for Democracy Party, which won about 80% of the seats declared so far in the lower house. He commended them for their success, which put her on course to form the new cabinet for NLD. It's also well ahead in the upper house and regional assemblies. In the full results from Sunday's election confirm the trend. Suu Kyi's triumph will sweep out an old guard of former generals that has run Myanmar, also known as Burma, since Thein Sein ushered in sweeping democracy and economic reform 4 years ago. Obama and Thein Sein discussed the importance for all parties to respect the election results and work to form an inclusive government. At the news briefing later, the White House Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes noted broad participation by Burma's people and commitment by its ruler to abide by the results. He said that this is in many ways is a momentous opportunity for the people of Burma. They had been very focused on this election. It is a critical milestone to evaluating Burma's democratic transition. And then another news in Malaysia, also by Reuters. Malaysia PM to give statement about transferred funds soon. The headline said, Malaysia's Prime Minister Najib Razak said on Thursday that he will give a statement to the anti-graft agency soon over funds worth 2.6 billion ringgit that were transferred into his bank accounts. The Wall Street Journal reported in July that investigators looking into debt-laden state investor One Malaysia Development Berhad found the funds were moved into Najib's accounts, sparking a political crisis for Najib and his government. Najib denies wrongdoing or taking any money for personal gain, and the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission said the money was a political donation from an unidentified Middle East benefactor. According to Najib, he will provide his statement he will provide his statement to MACC soon with regards to the political donation. He wrote it on Facebook. It is also his intention to provide full cooperation in this case investigation, as it has caused various accusations and slanders. Moving on to Indonesia. Apec is around the corner in the Philippines, but unfortunately, Jokowi is skipping the Apec summit. Jokowi, in fact, is still mulling attendance to the East Asia summit in Kuala Lumpur on November 20 to 22nd. President Jokowi Widodo contemplative nature and his reluctance to attend regular multilateral summits have been demonstrated once again following his decision to skip at least one annual meeting this month. Sources at the presidential palace said on Wednesday that although Jokowi might attend the upcoming G20 Leaders Summit in Antalya, Turkey on November 15 to 16, he is likely to miss the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Leaders Forum in Manila, Philippines on November 17 to 20. This is reported by Inquirer.net that he is hesitated about whether or not to attend the East Asia Summit in Kuala Lumpur. Both the Philippines and Malaysia are members of the ASEAN, and his decision to forego attendance could prove a diplomatic embarrassment to his two hosts. Hussein Abdullah, spokesperson for Vice President Yusuf Kala, confirmed to the Jakarta Post on Wednesday that Kala has been assigned to fly to Manila to attend the Apec summit on behalf of the president. Vice President Kala will be in Manila for the summit, according to official sources. Hussein refused to specify the reason behind Jokowi's refusal to attend the prestigious conference. At Ari Dwi Payana, a member of the presidential communications team, confirmed Kala's presence at the Apec, but assured those concerned that Jokowi would still attend the summit in Malaysia. Another news also regarding on Indonesia. Indonesia is asking China to clarify South China Sea claims. Reports by Reuters specified that Indonesia had asked China to clarify its claims over the South China Sea, but has yet to receive a response. The foreign minister said on Thursday, a day after Indonesia's security chief said Jakarta could take Beijing to court over an island dispute. Beijing's claim to almost the entire resource-rich sea is shown on Chinese maps, with a 9-dash line that stretches deep into the maritime heart of Southeast Asia. Vietnam, the Philippines, Taiwan, Malaysia and Brunei also claim parts of the waterway. Last year, Indonesia's Armed Forces chief accused China of including parts of the Indonesia-ruled Natuna Islands within the 9-dash lines. The position of Indonesia is clear at this stage, and Indonesia does not want to recognize the 9-dash line because it is not in line with the international law. This is according to Indonesian Foreign Minister spokesperson Armanata Nasir. They are asking for clarification on what China meant when they mean by the 9-dash line. That has not been actually clarified. Chinese Foreign Minister spokesman Hong Lei said China did not dispute Indonesia's sovereignty over the Natunas, but that there were some maritime disputes. It was not clear what disputes he was referring to. They have consistently upheld the Chinese and Indonesia should find a means of appropriate resolution through direct negotiation and consultation with respect for international law and on the basis of historical fact. The Philippines has taken China to the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, a case Beijing refuses to recognize. For years, China has insisted that the disputes with rival claimants be handled bilaterally instead of multilaterally. We will take a short break. When we return, we will go to the economic side and socio-cultural side of Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Welcome back. This is Arlene and you are listening to our ASEAN Daily, where we bring you news from Southeast Asia. Before we proceed to our economic news, a bit of an update on the news from the political side of Southeast Asia. Bersih 2.0 wants Obama to raise 2.6 billion donation human rights issues at ASEAN Summit. What was being reported at the Malay Mail Online was Pool Reform Group Bersih 2.0 aims to push for President Barack Obama to highlight the political donation controversy by the Prime Minister of Malaysia and alleged human rights abuses in Malaysia at this year's Association of Southeast Asian Nation meeting. The group's chairman, Maria Chin Abdullah, noted that ASEAN has previously pledged to improve human rights standards in the region and that with the next meeting to be held in Malaysia, it would be a good opportunity for the issue to be raised. One of the issues is the corruption, the 2.6 billion donation. He has yet to explain this, and this will be a crucial issue to be raised. Second is the persecution of activists. She said that it was necessary to highlight what she labeled as the hypocrisy of Najib's government, noting that the Prime Minister often positioned himself as the moderate leader who respects human rights. This despite Putrajaya's alleged use of strong-handed tactics to clamp down on anti-government dissidents. She also pointed out that Najib has even backtracked on his pledge to repeal the Sedition Act and has instead strengthened the law. To date, up to 17 state and federal opposition lawmakers been either charged or are facing charges. Moving on to the political side of Southeast Asia, we focus on Myanmar. Myanmar rubber market to be built in Mawlamyine. This is a report by Bangkok Post. Myanmar's first central rubber marker will be built at Mawlamyine in Mon State as authorities seek to help the industry amid low prices and sluggish sales. Mon State is the country's top rubber producer and the commodity is considered a promising export in Myanmar's national export strategy. However, local planters have struggled to sell internationally due to issues with quality and falling global prices. The NES highlights the need for a central rubber market, say Win Mint, director of the Department of Export Promotion under the Ministry of Commerce. It is said to be built in a compound on Ministry of Commerce-owned land in Mawlamyine and will be jointly managed by the Ministry of Commerce, the Ministry of Agriculture and Irrigation, and the Myanmar Rubber Planters and Producers Association. The establishment will help rubber planters to sell their wares. According to MRPPA Secretary Kiang Min was quoted saying at the Myanmar Times, exporters will be able to buy through an auction system at the market. Planters can refuse to sell if they are not happy with the bid, though exports will be blacklisted if they don't buy at their bid price. Besides Mon State, Kanintai, Bago and Airawadi regions are also major rubber producers. Rubber growers believe that this kind of success indicates the need for more factories capable of exporting rubber. Yangon Tire Factory, for example, the only private-owned plant, has been exporting to Malaysia for 2 years in batches of 800 by sea. The company has earned about $200,000 by exporting a total of 3,200 tires at $60 each, said Marketing Director Tin Cho O. And moving on to another news in Malaysia about the TPPA. According to Mustapa Muhammad, Minister of International Trade and Industry, the report on two cost-benefit analysis on Malaysia's participation in the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement will be ready in 10 days. When the studies are completed, the public will know in detail who the losers and gainers are, he told reporters at the showcase and forum ASEAN My Market today. On Indonesia's interest in TPPA, he said he welcomed the country's participation as the deal would give a greater access to markets. Giving an example, the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, or short for APEC, with 21 members, including Indonesia, China, South Korea, Taiwan, has been successful, and this would be the same for TPPA members as the PAC is open for accession by other APEC economies. He also said 12 countries are on board and it's open for other 9 countries. We will take a short break. When we return, we will discuss on the socio-cultural side of Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Welcome back. This is Arlene and you are on our ASEAN Daily. Moving on to our socio-cultural side, 14 rescued orangutans flown back to Indonesia. This is a report by Bangkok Post. A group of 14 smuggled orangutans were repatriated from Thailand to Indonesia on Thursday, 5 years after the majority of them were discovered abandoned by the side of the road. The joint operation between Thailand and Indonesia brings to close years of diplomatic wrangling between the two nations over who should pay for the upkeep of the animals. Previous Thai governments wanted compensation from Indonesia for the cost of housing and treating the 14 apes, but the junta government in Bangkok recently waived those demands and pushed ahead with the repatriation. Indonesia sent a C-130 aircraft to collect the animals who were loaded onto the plane in metal craters. The flight has already taken off at around 10 a.m. from Dong Muang Airport, and it was taken 5 hours to arrive in Jakarta. Special care has been taken to ensure that the orangutans are ready to travel. This is according to Tuan Chai Nok Dong Trong, Director of Thailand's Wildlife Conservation Office. The apes have been in captivity for too long to be released in the wild and will be kept in conservation centers in Indonesia, according to Thai wildlife officials. Orangutans are native to the forests in Borneo and Sumatra, but they are often illegally smuggled throughout Southeast Asia, either for private zoos or as pets. Despite their reputation as gentle animals, they are not suitable pets. One Thai man lost a finger when one of the rescued apes bit it off. It happened long time ago, not during the preparation of this repatriation. It was a male orangutan who is quite fierce. They are 6 times stronger than human beings, in case you don't know. Of the 14 orangutans, 11 were found abandoned in Phuket in 2010. One was rescued, as well as 2 were born in captivity to the rescued parents. Another news that is in Indonesia. Indonesian taxi app to ban smelly drivers. According to Bangkok Post, life is about to get a little easier for Indonesians who use motorbike tags to weave through Jakarta's notorious traffic choke streets. A new ride-hailing app is promising to ban smelly drivers. Uber Jack, the latest in a series of smartphone-based motorbike taxi booking services in the metropolis, has pledged to only hire drivers who pass a body odor test as it goes on a recruiting drive before starting operation next year. The website of the company features a picture of a foreigner sniffing the armpits of an Indonesian man under the caption, "Sorry, if you have an armpit odor problem, you cannot be an Uber Jack rider." Motorbike tax, also known locally as Object, has been ubiquitous for years in overcrowded city of 10 million, known for its monster traffic jams, but it is also too easy for drivers to get sweaty and smelly working long hours in the tropical heat. Uberjack founder Aris Wahyudi said he decided to include the test in the recruitment process after hearing many complaints from motorbike taxi customer. Uberjack, which is not associated with the popular US-based ride-sharing service Uber, hopes to pledge to hire only fragrant drivers will give it an edge in a crowded market that has been flooded by motorbike taxi hailing apps over the past years. Other services that have also taken an innovative approach, such as Lady Jack and Sister or Jack, which offer female drivers for female or woman travelers. That's all from us today. Thanks for listening to Join ASEAN. You can always catch us on our daily podcast via our YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, as well as Instagram. You can also catch us live at joinasian.com or download the mobile app Join ASEAN via your mobile app store. Thank you and have a great weekend.